Hello and welcome to a live deprogram with Keri Smith. I'm your host, Keri, and thank you guys for being here. I see some familiar faces. I just wanted to say to you, I appreciate you um, rolling with the changes the past week. I've had a lot of changes to the schedule, and this video got pushed like 3 times, and I apologize. I also, for anyone who had mentioned it in the chat previously, I'm not able to do, I was supposed to be at Chrissy Mayer's content house this weekend. And unfortunately, I'm not able to go because of this writing job that I have and the delivery schedule. It became obvious that I would not be able to be there and get this done. So I'm sorry if you're there. I want to make it up to you. I know a couple people in the chat had mentioned they're going to be there. So just let me know if you're there, and if you're like, I was hoping to see you, drop me a line, let me know. And I want to find out a way to make it up to you. And I apologize. So today, a couple of other just quick announcements. I'm talking about the Cracker Barrel debacle again. I wanted to kind of put an ending to it because there's been updates since the first video, and a lot of updates, and there's been a lot of other stuff in the news since then as well. But I just wanted to kind of, this one was very important to me. This particular culture war, if you will, this small culture war was very important to me, as you know. And so I wanted to do a follow-up video with the changes that Cracker Barrel made. I already talked about some of them on my friend Josh Slocum's show. So if you are a fan of Disaffected, you can check out his most recent episode. And I was there reporting from the bottom of the barrel is the way I would phrase it. And it was a lot of fun hanging out with Slocum. So go and check that out on Disaffected. We just did a little bit of stuff on the Cracker Barrel and a few other topics, and that was a lot of fun. Was the other thing I had to tell you. Oh, this past Wednesday, we brought back that Christian panel. So it'd been a while since we had done one. I took a lot of time off for the surgery and other things. And then we just, we brought it back on Wednesday night. So it was me, Brahma Bull, Michelle from Force of Light, and Odin from OMB Reviews. And the topic is sort of an evergreen topic that I think is really relevant to young people, especially today. But it's a topic about like what to look for in a spouse from a Christian perspective. So go and check that one out. We're back on a regular schedule with those every 2 weeks. And I think the next one is going to be somewhat related to that one, because this is in the, I don't know, online consciousness, at least it's there. Everyone, there's all this red pill commentary. There's all these TikTok videos about spouses behaving badly, people or spouses putting themselves on camera, criticizing their spouse. Like, there's just so much negativity and demoralizing stuff around marriage. And so we wanted to kind of offer something different when it comes to that topic. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. Those of you got to check it out. The last thing I was going to say is Marcus Allen, the FBI whistleblower who I was privileged to interview. He's one of the most inspiring guests I've ever had. Just his commitment to the truth, his sincerity, his integrity is something that you don't see in that many people. And unfortunately, you especially don't see it in a lot of government employees in this day and age. He is the FBI counterterrorism expert who was canceled, who they retaliated against because they did not like his opinions on January 6th. The very thing it's his job to do, which is to give them his expert opinion. Well, they didn't like his expert opinion, and they put him on leave for, I think it was 2 years or something, that the Biden administration had him on leave. You should go and check out that interview. I feel like he's someone that needs to be getting more exposure, and the mainstream corporate media, of course, they're not interested in talking with him because he's a man of integrity, an FBI agent with integrity, who the government retaliated against under the Biden administration. And he's also a Black man who's a Catholic and a conservative. So he goes against a lot of the woke talking points and the woke narrative. And so I'm starting to put out clips of that interview, and I'm putting them out here on YouTube. I'm putting them out as shorts. And so if you if there's a bigger channel or platform that you think would be interested in talking with him, please share the clips with those channels. Put it in their comments. If there's an upstanding, like an outfit that you respect, a platform that you respect, and the hosts who you think are sincere and would want to speak with someone like him, please share the clips with them or just share his story with them in some way, because I would love for him to get on some larger outlets to be able to talk about his story, about what the government did to him. He's also very candid. It's an amazing guest because, I pretty much asked him every question you would want to ask of a sincere Fed. So I like, hey, can you tell me this? And he answered what he could, and it was amazing. So if there's any interviewer out there who you think would be good to speak with him, just please share the word about the FBI whistleblower Marcus Allen. And so that would be a huge help. Okay. Hey, John, good to see you. Super Base is here. Hello, Super Base. Gifted 10 memberships. Good to see you. Thanks, my membership fairy, for being here. So I wanted to do a follow-up to the Cracker Barrel story. We did a previous one talking about why. Well, first of all, we were talking about all their logo changes and the decor changes. And in that video, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. There was a great question where somebody asked, why are these changes even considered woke? So we had a whole conversation about aesthetics. But beyond that, we went into the history of Cracker Barrel's DEI, CRT, LGBT, and Pride changes, like all of their corporate changes that involved woke ideology, and how they had slowly started implementing these changes over the years, like behind the scenes. And I think it didn't come to a head. Nobody really was paying attention to a lot of these things until the branding and logo debacle. And then people started paying attention. And one of those people was Robbie Starbuck, who is a journalist many of you are probably familiar with, who's done a great job of putting pressure, using his audience to put pressure on corporate brands that are taking a knee, bowing the knee to woke. He has a great track record. And so he really was shining the spotlight on Cracker Barrel and what was happening behind the scenes. And when last we spoke about this, Cracker Barrel had not been addressing the controversy. They were ignoring it. And they actually put out, since we did that video, their first response when they finally addressed it was to put out a really terrible, mealy-mouthed, fake apology where they said, this was their first response. I couldn't believe they did this. They doubled down on their Instagram, on their Facebook, their social accounts. They put out a statement, and I won't belabor reading the whole thing, but we read it on Slocum's show. If you want to go watch Disaffected, I'll give you the gist of it though. It was basically, we hear you. We're so delighted that so many people care about Cracker Barrel brand, and we're sorry we didn't do a good enough job explaining all the changes that we're making and that we're still going to make. That's what it said, basically. We're still doing everything that you don't like. And we're sorry we didn't do a better job of explaining. If we just explained it better to you stupid people, you would get it. Like, that was the gist of it. It was so tone deaf. And it went on to say, then it was doing gaslighting. And like the second or third paragraph, it was saying, all the things that you love will still be here. No, they won't. Are you not listening? You say you're listening, but you're not hearing, right? They weren't hearing anything. And so they put out this statement, and at the bottom of it, it was this disgusting, they even changed the font and used a cursive, like a very feminine font, to say, love Cracker Barrel. Love Cracker Barrel. Just a very feminine kind of mommy talk, like NPR kindergarten teacher talk. We're listening, but we're not actually hearing you, and we don't care what you say, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing because you're too stupid to get it. And just completely and everything you like will still be here, even though it won't. And we're still doing all these changes. Love Cracker Barrel. That was the statement. It made me think of Idiocracy. You guys remember this film, where it takes place in a dystopian future and everyone's IQ is severely impaired. I think we're approaching that reality more every day. A lot of people, we're developing short attention spans, TikTok brain, the kind of TV shows that exist in that movie that the characters are watching. We're starting to see more of that. I feel like this is the stuff they watch on Idiocracy. Anyway, it made me think of the line in that movie where Costco still exists in this future dystopia. And they go to Costco and there's just a guy, a greeter at the door who says, "Welcome to Costco. We love you." Welcome to Costco. We love you. Actually, I think I have that clip. I do. Hold on.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Forgot I had that. That's what the first response from Cracker Barrel was like. Welcome to Cracker Barrel. We love you. We hear you. And so that was their first tone deaf response. And whoever told them to do that, they were still listening to the wrong people, because are you telling me they couldn't predict the response they were going to get to that? I guess they couldn't. The response was overwhelmingly negative. Their comments were flooded on Instagram, Facebook. It was just, people were mocking it. People were angry. They were like, wow, way to completely ignore your customer base, you disingenuous people. And so after that response, I think they were like testing the waters. Can we get away with doing it if we just offer this nonsense gobbledygook apology? And they couldn't get away with it. And so the great news is that they've since announced they're going back to the old logo and decor. But more importantly, here's why this matters. Here's why these what seems like a small, insignificant cultural battle, this is why it matters. They're not just keeping the old decor and the old logo. They're scrubbing the DEI stuff from their website. In the first video I did about this, remember, we read they had a culture, inclusivity, belonging page, like a DEI page on their freaking Cracker Barrel website. We read the whole thing. They've changed it. They've taken out all of those cult words we were talking about. They've changed it. They took out the woke stuff. They've quietly scrubbed. Here, let me put up this this article just to show you some of the changes. And this is a win. I mean, this is great. This is from CNN, August 28th. Cracker Barrel quietly removes DEI and Pride pages from its website after logo upheaval. So they went in and scrubbed some of this stuff. I'm going to read a little bit, and I've got a couple different articles pulled up. After backing away from a controversial logo rebrand loudly opposed by many right-wing influencers, let me just put an asterisk there. In the first video, we talked about this. They kept trying to say, oh, it's a right-wing thing. It's a MAGA thing only. It's just right-wingers. It's a Trump thing. It's a MAGA thing. No, this was universal. This may be, we were joking, but this may be, it's truth in it, maybe one of the few things that all of America could agree on. You had leftists like David Hogg, Gavin Newsom, even the official Democratic Party Twitter account. They were bashing Cracker Barrel for these changes. So it wasn't just a quote unquote right-wing thing. Look at how they lie to you. They lie to us just bold-faced all the time. But this is CNN. Why would you expect any different, right? So it says, after backing away from a controversial logo rebrand, loudly opposed by many right-wing influencers, Cracker Barrel also quietly made changes to its website this week. The Tennessee-based roadside restaurant chain deleted a dedicated Pride page and scrubbed references to employee resource groups, including its LGBT plus and diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging groups, from another part of its website. On behalf of Cracker Barrel's LGBTQ Alliance and LGBTQ plus Alliance and DEIB team. Do you know what that is? DEIB? That's what they're adding, that belonging word, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Their DEIB team. We want to celebrate you for being you. It is our greatest mission to ensure that pleasing people means all people. Cracker Barrel's now deleted Pride page read, according to a CNN review of the Wayback Machine. Yeah, we read that before they changed it, remember? The URL now redirects to the company's culture and belonging page. So it's still like their culture and belonging page, which has also been revised according to the Wayback Machine. Yeah, it has been. We read the whole thing on the last episode. Here, let me show you what it looks like now. And I'm so glad we read it and we had it up on the screen in the last video, because you can put these videos side by side and compare. So it's still the URL, the handle is still culture and belonging. And at the top, it says culture and belonging. Everyone feels at home at Cracker Barrel. They took away, they had an image here of a bunch of, that was sort of like the Cracker Barrel logo, but it was a bunch of diverse people with the, how they represent diversity, how the woke represented, right? It's like diverse people, they're gone. Okay, it says, everyone feels at home at Cracker Barrel. At Cracker Barrel, welcoming people has always been at the heart of who we are. When we take care of one another, we are able to take even better care of the people who walk through our doors. So they got rid of all the stuff about like inclusion and belonging. They got rid of those words, those woke buzzwords. Then scroll down. Now it's much, much shorter, this page. Good people, good work, good company. Here's what we're about. Here's what we're all about. Focus on you. Your well-being matters. At work and in life, we provide experiences and benefits crafted just for you. In it together. Our teams are built on real relationships and mutual respect. Together, we create a culture of belonging. Okay, they still have some of this crap, the belonging stuff. That's part of DEI. That's the new branding of DEI. They still have some of this crap, but you can admit, if you compare this to what it was before, they've removed a lot of it. We create a culture of belonging where everyone feels supported and appreciated. Thrive your way. The skills you'll learn and the people you'll meet will help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And you make the moment. Bring your warmth and authenticity to create memorable moments. The goodness of country hospitality starts with you. We're in it together. It's not just work, it's working together. From day one, you'll feel welcomed and supported. We've got each other's backs. Pleasing people is a team sport. We pitch in and get it done together. We are part of each other's stories. Working side by side builds connections that last well beyond our workday. Development of our leaders and team members to ensure our culture is grounded in mutual respect and teamwork. So then they have something here about Herschel, the guy from the logo they were trying to delete. And if you read this, it's about the Herschel way. Welcome with warmth, like greet every guest with a sincere smile and personal connection. Everyone deserves to feel seen and valued. Okay, again, this part. Everyone deserves to feel seen and valued. Come on, it's a little, that's the woke thing. That's a narcissistic, like, I need to be seen and valued. Okay, just be friendly. That's it. That's all you have to say. You don't have to use this woke language of like, make everyone feel seen and valued and belonging. Serve with a story. We share the stories behind our food and retail. We also share our own stories with one another. These stories bring meaning to what we do and connect us in authentic ways. Make the moment. We look for opportunities to go above and beyond for our guests. Everyone leaves happy. We end every interaction with gratitude and care, making sure guests leave smiling and team members feel genuinely appreciated. Living the Herschel way means carrying forward our longstanding mission in a new way. It's how we welcome guests like family. So they had this totally rewritten. They kept a couple of the words. They took out the majority of the woke stuff, and they made it more about, they tried to make it more about, serving, being good servers to the guests, the customers, and doing things in the Herschel way, like the old country way. Robert Lowry, what's up, Robert? Serve with a story and poor quality food. Well, that's the other thing, is I hope they'll get back to making good food. I mean, the quality of the food has suffered. A lot of people pointed this out, is that they're using a lot of pre-made foods and frozen chili and stuff like that, and just heating it up for you. And that's true. I think maybe here's an idea. If you take some of the company resources and money that you were spending on woke DEI corporate programming and crap and salaries, and you put it towards food and training for your employees on how to cook, like maybe this would help your restaurants. I know I'm not a big fan of bacon, like bacon it's as a food item. You guys know this. I know I get made fun of for this, but I grew up as a southerner in South Carolina. I grew up with bacon. You know, bacon grease is used as, and it used to be used in Cracker Barrel food. So maybe they'll get back to that southern way of cooking. Yes, Southern Belle, they need to make the food there, hire more cooks. Yes, that's what they need. I agree. So they changed the site. They got rid of a lot of that, the woke DEI stuff. We also know they had been sponsoring prides. They had been sponsoring the Tennessee Pride. And let me just show you this one. This is about them confirming the changes. Can you guys still hear me? I'm gonna make sure my microphone didn't go out. Okay, so here we go. Cracker Barrel confirms removing the Pride page. Changes to business resource groups. The company says changes made months ago now focus on sponsorships and corporate giving initiatives. This is from Fox Business. Cracker Barrel confirmed it had removed the Pride section from its website and claimed that it made the changes to its business resource groups in a statement obtained exclusively by Fox News Digital. Cracker Barrel's Pride page, which listed the Nashville Pride Parade that it sponsored, was no longer visible on its website when Fox News Digital checked Wednesday. The website link for the page now redirects to the restaurant chain's Culture and Belonging site. At Cracker Barrel, and then this is from the site we just read, the Old Country store was under intense scrutiny by conservative activists, including Robbie Starbuck, Chris Rufo, over its past support of LGBT causes. By the way, Chris Rufo it took him a hot minute, because I remember at first he was like, I don't care about Cracker Barrel. He posted that. And then like a day later, he said, I changed my mind. He said, I care about Cracker. I understand now. And I was thinking maybe that's because he's not Southern. He didn't get it. Like I said, for some of us, this was our Star Wars. This was our, like, why are you messing with our beloved brand? Why are you wokeifying it? But good for him for understanding it. Okay, so Cracker Barrel previously sponsored the 2024 Nashville Pride Parade and unveiled a line of rainbow-colored rocking chairs for Pride Month. Ugh. The company also has an LGBT business resource group called the LGBTQ Plus Alliance, along with groups for veterans and other communities. The spokesman also confirmed to Fox News Digital that Cracker Barrel changed its BRGs months ago to focus more on the brand's corporate giving objectives. While the BRGs were all still listed on the company's Culture and Belonging page Wednesday, they've all since been removed. This is the inside of the store, and you will be familiar with this if you go to Cracker Barrel's. I told Josh Slocum if he visits Texas, we're taking him to the Barrel, because I don't know if he knows like what the full experience is like when you go through this part of the Old Country store before you get to the restaurant, right? Quote, several months ago, the company also made changes to our business resource groups that now focus all sponsorships or events on our corporate giving initiatives. So this is what they're focusing on now, they say, instead of LGBT crap, sexuality, pride crap, DEI crap. Now they're like, okay, our corporate giving is now instead gonna focus on food insecurity, supporting community needs through food, and reducing food waste. Wow, those sound like they might be better suited to a restaurant. Like if a restaurant wants to give back, maybe this sounds better suited to what you do, to your industry, instead of sponsoring pride, sexuality parades. The founder of Cracker Barrel's LGBT group later served on the Human Rights Campaign's HRC's Business Advisory Council. Now, the HRC is known for its Corporate Equality Index, which rates companies on LGBT workplace policies. Critics argue the HRC uses the index to pressure corporations into adopting progressive woke policies. This is true. We covered this in the last video. If you look at their history, part of the reason the Cracker Barrel went woke in the way it did, a big part of the reason, was the pressure from the Human Rights Campaign, who singled them out in the 90s for public scrutiny, mockery, for pressure campaigns. They singled them out and tried to paint Cracker Barrel as bigots. And they started this thing. They made up this thing called the Corporate Equality Index. They made it up. They gave the rankings, and then they would point and say, "You only got a 0. You got a 0, so you need to do better." I don't know why anyone plays along with that game. Who cares? Who cares what the HRC says? Yeah, here we go. Look, Cracker Barrel received a score of 0 on the inaugural index in 2002. The chain was criticized in the 90s for discrimination against gay employees. In 1991, the company adopted a corporate policy stating that any worker who failed to demonstrate normal heterosexual values would be fired. Now, remember that. We covered that in the last video. This is what started all of the campaigning against Cracker Barrel, all of the pressure from these activist groups, was because they had put out a memo based on customer complaints about some of these servers' appearance. I don't know the details of the server's appearance, but it ended up affecting, it was a handful of employees across all the Cracker Barrels. It was a small handful of employees, but they were affected. And one of them who lost her job was, she wasn't a server. It wasn't like the customers could even see her. She was a lesbian cook. So they made that mistake in the past, and then they've been changing because of that. You see how the activists use that effectively to target them, to harass them, to put pressure on them for decades now. I want to show you something from Robbie Starbuck. Okay. So Robbie Starbuck has been covering this, as I mentioned, and he's lately been talking about how because of the backlash, because they waited so long to listen to their customers, that it may be too little too late. Now, I don't necessarily agree with him. I think people are going to go back to the Cracker Barrel now. I am, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but in the last video I talked about it. I went to 2 local Cracker Barrels to voice my opinion. I went to the one in Round Rock, and I went to the one in Temple, Texas, and just to tell them. And fortunately, the ones in my area had not changed their decor or anything yet, and so I just went in to tell them, hi, I'm a loyalty club member. But I am, and I'm just here to say I'm so glad you haven't changed your decor, and I hope you don't. And the employees at the two Cracker Barrels I went to agreed with us, and they were like, you better write comments and reviews online, because that's what corporate's looking at. And if you don't, if you guys don't stop this, corporate's going to make us change too. And fortunately, we were able to get them to reverse course. So now it's SD0 laughing at me because I went to the Cracker Barrels. I'm the Cracker Barrel Karen. I'm not ashamed. I had to let them know. Sometimes it helps to go in person and be friendly, with a smile. And what's funny is I wasn't the only one. They were like, yes, lots of people have been coming in. I love that. I love that lots of people were going in to tell them, like, hey, I'm a big Cracker Barrel fan. Please don't do this. Cracker Queen. Yes. So now that they reversed course, my husband and I were there not even a month ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And before all of this news broke. And so now that this has all happened in the past month, and they've finally listened to their customers, and it looks like, at least on the surface, they're saying that they get the message now. We want to go back and reward them with our business. So I don't think they waited too late. I don't think that this boycott is going to continue, but Starbuck has been sharing some things that, I don't know, maybe he says, look, this is what he says. Things do not seem to be going well at Cracker Barrel. I tried to warn them to end the woke pride stuff and the DEI fast. but they didn't listen. And I'm afraid the length of time that they let lapse is going to haunt them until major executive firings. So let's just see this. Okay. So he's been sharing a couple things like that. Oh, no sound. F. Okay, I see that now. Sorry. Sorry about the no sound. Let me put this one up and I'll try to get the sound fixed because this one's not video. This one's just here we go. Can you see this? Okay. Robbie Starbuck. John says we've got to get Keri to look at chat whenever sharing things. Yeah, sorry. None your business. I'm listening just like I do anytime a woman is griping at me, meaning you can't hear it. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, well, at least you noticed from her video, it's so empty. So she turned it around. She said, we're here like on a weekend night. We're eating at Cracker Barrel. The biscuits are bad. The mac and cheese is still good. The hash brown casserole tastes like cardboard. The coleslaw tastes bad. Like they've changed. She said even the server admitted that they had changed a lot of the recipes and they're not impressed by the food. And the restaurant was like empty on a weekend night, which is unheard of. And so then this is another post he shared, sent in by a follower. They say this was 6 p.m. last night in Arizona. It should have been packed. Instead, Cracker Barrel was empty. Cracker Barrel waited about a week to finally listen to me, and this was the result of waiting that long. Every executive needs to memorize this photo. This could be your company next if you get caught engaging in woke DEI, leftism, or trans policies. This could be you if you don't listen to our consumer movement. Don't let this be you. Be smart. Fix it and actually fix it. We have thousands of tips with evidence on our tip line. Don't wait for us to make you the story. I love how aggressive he is about this. Don't wait for us to make you the story. Be proactive. Be neutral and sane. No weird trainings or sponsorships. No partisan activism. No trans flags. No far left groups that you work with, etc. You executives may hate me, but I'm trying to help you and save your company. Drop the egos. Look at this. This was on a weekend night in Arizona, totally empty. That's unheard of. And you guys know if you go to Cracker Barrel's, like it never looks like this on a weekend night, or if you go on a Sunday after church, like it is packed. You actually, there are jokes and memes about how long you have to wait in line, that the reason they put the rocking chairs outside is because it takes an hour to get a table. You know what I mean? Like that's why they put the checkerboards out there, because you're going to be waiting an hour or two. And so it has a reputation for being a long wait because it's always packed, and these look empty. Lindsay says, I was wondering if their hash brown casserole was now served frozen. I remember the last time I got it, did not taste fresh. Yeah. So what happened during this debacle was that a lot of the employees agreed with the consumer movement, with the customers, and they started going rogue and sending videos to Robbie and others. They were putting out anonymous videos from the kitchen at Cracker Barrel and showing you like, hey, this is how we make your gravy. Look, it comes out of a package and we just like put it in the microwave. This is how we make your chili. It's frozen. We just put it in the microwave. They were showing that like all this food was not prepared fresh, and that they had been cutting corners in this way, maybe because they're spending so much money on woke DEI crap. Who knows? So let's see. I hope that that's another change that they make. John says, we actually want to save the company. Exactly. That's why I want to go back. Now that they made these changes, I want to go back. I'm willing to, in good faith, it seems like they're making these changes. So we're gonna do another date night at the Barrel. That's what we're doing. Just to tell them, hey, we're happy you did this. Now let's get the food back. Let's get the good Southern food back. SD0, did they fix the food? Well, yeah, that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. There were so many funny things that came out of this, and we looked at some of the memes last time, but this one, let's see. This one just really made me laugh. Cracker Barrel logo saga ends with edited video of Trump and the old timer. Now it's calling him the old timer. We know he's Herschel. I don't think the sound is working. That's okay, because I didn't even know this one had sound at first when I played it. You don't need the sound. Trump shared this. This is hilarious. Trump shared this. And it's an animated logo of Herschel on the original Cracker Barrel logo with Trump. Watch. We can't play that music anyway. I would get a strike. It's the YMCA music. Look at them. Now they're dancing. OMG, yes. Look, if they're going to call it a Trump and MAGA movement, even though it's just a consumer movement and there were a lot of people on the left who agree with us, like, then Trump's just going to be like, yeah, it is my movement. He's just going to take credit for it. I'm going to play that again. He's just going to take credit for it. Like, here he is with Herschel walking around, shakes his hand. And then he comes back and he takes his jacket off and they start dancing. I love it. I don't usually like AI stuff, but this made me giggle. So I had to show you guys. Yeah, awesome. You know, this makes them so mad. They can't handle fun stuff like this. They don't have a good sense of humor, and they don't like anything that humanizes Trump or makes him seem fun or funny. Like, they hate it. Yes, our legendary troll in chief. Yes. That's so awesome. It is. That made me laugh. Okay. I had a couple of other articles pulled up, but a lot of seen. Let me pause this. I do have a leftist one that I wanted to read. I want to show you how the left is portraying it. Hold on one second. Now, this one, as I mentioned, there were a lot of people on the left, even the Democrats' official Twitter account, you know, Governor Gavin Newsom, leftist activist David Hogg, who were all joining in and saying Cracker Barrel made a mistake, that they crapped the bed, you know, that they needed to go back to the old logo and stuff. Now, they weren't criticizing the woke DEI stuff, with the exception of Gavin Newsom. He said Gavin Newsom's in a weird place right now. You know, he's going to be running for president. And so he's trying to appeal to, here's what I think is happening. This is a video for another time. He's trying to weirdly appeal to the woke right. Gavin Newsom. He's trying to appeal to the woke left and the woke right. And so he said, woke is dead. And a lot of he said that about the Cracker Barrel thing. And a lot of what I call the woke right accounts, like the Nazi kind of neo-fascist accounts, they were retweeting him. They've been retweeting him for a while. They've been sharing posts of Gavin Newsom's and supporting him. These Nazis, online Nazis, they've been sharing them and they've been putting up pictures of Gavin Newsom's family next to pictures of JD Vance's family, because they assume JD Vance is going to run for president. against Newsom, and they go, look at this white family and then look at JD Vance's family. Which one would you rather support? Like, these racists are saying that, and he knows it. And he's retweeting some of their stuff. We're in a weird timeline. So yeah, with the exception of Gavin Newsom, most of the people on the left, including the official Democrat account who were criticizing Cracker Barrel, were just criticizing the logo redesign. They weren't getting deeper. They weren't talking about the woke stuff. And so this is how this is like the Black Media Authority, Afro News. This is a woke leftist publication. And I just wanted to read to you how they characterize this. It's pretty funny. Cracker Barrel bends to white backlash. White. So we've already seen the mainstream media was calling it right-wing backlash. They were calling it Trump and MAGA backlash. So this woke site calls it white backlash. Okay. Cracker Barrel bends to white backlash as Target ignores black demands. Black demands? First of all, lady, you don't speak for all black people. There are tons of black Cracker Barrel fans who were posting videos and comments and commentary about this who were upset. And you're just ignoring the fact that they even exist. Some of the funniest commentary I saw about it was coming from black people on X or Facebook especially, who were making jokes about it, who didn't like it, who were doing videos about it. So don't pretend that you speak for black people. You don't, or white people for that matter. So she says ignores black demands. Also, demands. Okay. So we scroll down. Cracker Barrel Old Country Store recently found itself thrust into the spotlight after a rebranding effort sparked widespread backlash. On August 19th, the Southern-inspired restaurant chain unveiled a new logo that featured its name in brown letters against a gold background and removed the silhouette of a man known as Uncle Herschel sitting in a rocking chair next to a barrel. Okay, known as Uncle Herschel. Lady, he is Uncle Herschel. Uncle Herschel was a real person. He was the uncle of the founder. like it's the whole thing is based on him and partially his idea. The whole idea of making it an old country store. Because of his job as a traveling salesman, he used to go to all these old country general stores, and they wanted to recreate that feeling, that culture, that aesthetic in this restaurant. Like, that's what they wanted to do. That's why he's not known as Uncle Herschel. He is Uncle Herschel. So he's a real person. He was. So it says, the change was said to be a part of a broader initiative to modernize the brand, and appeal to a younger, more diverse customer base. But by August 26th, Cracker Barrel announced that it would return to its former logo. The reversal was sparked by public outrage from conservatives who were convinced that the chain was trying to appease woke culture. Critics of Cracker Barrel's old-timer logo, including the Reverend Dr. Jamal Bryant, pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, have pointed out that it evokes memories of American slavery. You guys, this is not satire. This is a real site. And so she's saying this pastor, this Reverend Dr. Jamal Bryant in Atlanta, Georgia, said that Uncle Herschel evokes memories of American slavery. First of all, you don't have memories of American slavery. You weren't alive then. None of us were. I wasn't. You weren't. Like, stop talking about memories of. And I don't believe that you're driving and you see the Cracker Barrel logo and you're like, oh, and you have to pull over because you have an emotional reaction. It's so evocative of painful feelings and PTSD and trauma and stress. Oh my gosh, you see the Cracker Barrel logo and you just, how do you not wreck your car with all the trauma that it inspires? Come on. Quote, it reeks of the antebellum. It reeks of the antebellum. It has the aroma of the Civil War. From rocking chairs to molasses being sold by the cash register, said Bryant. In an interview with the Afro, white people were in large numbers up in arms about the removal of the logo. What's amazing is that they were focused on the barrel and we were focused on the cracker. They were saying in no uncertain terms that they wanted both of them there. Amid a decline in its stock and growing controversy, Cracker Barrel swiftly brought back its original design. As Bryant pointed out, this move stands in stark contrast to major retailer Target, which has ignored months of pressure from the Black community to reinstate racial equity initiatives. Quote, what is significant is with white outrage, it only took 2 weeks for them to change the logo back, says Bryant. Our Black disappointment still has not yielded any results in 5 months. I just want to read you a little bit more about this guy. Target holds firm as Black community boycott continues. Bryant is no stranger to speaking out against corporate America. When Target announced that its leader of 11 years, Brian Cornell, would no longer serve as CEO of the company, some thought it was evidence of the retailer trying to course correct after losing nearly $12 billion in market value since March. But Cornell did not step down, he stepped up. In February 2026, Cornell will become the executive chair of Target's board of directors. Reverend Bryant, who has led a nationwide boycott of Target in response to its rollback of racial equity efforts, sees the move not as a reset, but as reinforcement of the company's current direction. Quote, it is the rewarding of bad behavior. As chair of the board, he has more influence on the direction and ideology of the company, and he gets a pay raise, said Bryant. They're flagrantly saying, let's play the violins while the Titanic is going down. This is not a strategic move to help bolster Target. It is them standing 10 toes down and saying that this is where we're going to stay and everybody else just has to deal with it. End quote. Following the 47th president's executive order, they don't say Trump, right? They don't like to say his name. The 47th president's executive order banning diversity, inclusion, and equity programs within the federal government, Target followed suit on January 24th, announcing the end of its racial equity and change initiatives, its REACH initiatives. As a result, Bryant, an activist and pastor who formerly led Empowerment Temple AME Church in Baltimore, started a 40-day Target fast, urging the Black community to forego shopping from the company during the 2025 Lent season. Because Target refused to reinstate its racial equity commitments, the fast has evolved into an ongoing boycott. More than 200,000 people have signed Bryant's pledge so far, and Target's stock and market value have dropped significantly. Though Bryant is continuing to encourage the Black community to avoid shopping at the retailer, he acknowledged that African Americans who work for Target are in a tough position, especially in light of the economic challenges households are facing across the nation. He advised employees to continue collecting their checks while searching for new employment. Quote, from March to now, with the rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion, 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. Unemployment in our community is really at a sour end under this administration, said Bryant. I was raised old school. Don't quit your job until you get one. I would ask them to maintain and collect, but at the same time, start looking for other options. Even if Target were to bring back racial equality or equity initiatives, Bryant is uncertain about whether the retailer will ever be able to fully regain the trust of the Black community. Quote, the reality is, even if we come to an accord today with Target, there are many Black people who have vowed they're never going back, said Bryant. It only takes 30 days to create a habit. We've been at it for 5 months. The human's responsibility now rests on shoulders. So this just cracks me up because, I mean, I think I maybe heard about the Target boycott in passing, but I forgot about it if I did. And apparently it's this big deal. And to some, apparently they think it's a racial thing. That's why it's funny in this article, they falsely try and cast the boycott of Cracker Barrel as a white boycott. It wasn't a white boycott. It also wasn't a MAGA boycott. It was just a boycott from customers, many of whom were Black also. Like it just was a boycott. But they falsely try to cast it as a white boycott because they have a Black boycott going on. They have a race-based boycott going on. And so they can only see through that lens, and they have to pretend like this win with Cracker Barrel was like a white people win. And so he can say that about like corporations are listening to white people and white rage, but not to Black people and our Black boycott. Okay. But it's not. It's only you who's seeing it in this racial lens. It's only you who have a racial boycott. Just looking to see what you guys are saying about him. 10 toes down. What's that mean? Oh, okay. This is a new saying that young people are doing. That means like doubling down. That means like all 10 of your toes are down on the ground and you're not budging. It's not great slang. Yeah. Yeah, it's very popular at the moment though. So I just thought that was funny. I thought at first I really was like, is this a satire site when he's talking about the antebellum South and Cracker Barrel makes you think of the Civil War and he's criticizing the molasses and like, what are you talking about? This guy, how do you, this is why you know they're liars. He's a total liar because how could he go out in public and function if he had that degree of mental illness where he's like, oh, molasses, and like it triggers him and he's having an emotional flashback and memories that aren't even his, to a time of slavery. Oh, it's impossible. You couldn't function in normal society. Hey, Power Keg, Greg. When I see a Cracker Barrel, my PTSD of the Civil War floods back into me. Yes, that's what's so funny. I kind of want to do a meme about it because I think it's hilarious. Not a lot of people saw his comment, so that's because nobody pays attention to Black Rage. Am I right? Oh, hey, Keely, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Okay, that's all the Cracker Barrel stuff I had for today. Actually, I was gonna kind of just do a short day because I have a lot of writing to do, but I wanted to say hi, and I had to reschedule this so many times that it was just like I've got to get this one, done. If you, this would make a good subject, right, Lindsay? It's giving me flashbacks to that woman who got triggered over a cotton bouquet at Hobby Lobby. That would make a good video. Leftists love to get triggered by Hobby Lobby because it's a Christian company. That's one of their favorite targets. I'm like, why do you even go there? If you hate them because they're Christian, why do you even go? I don't understand. Just don't go. Okay, so just to remind you guys, please, if you haven't seen it yet, go and watch the interview I did with the FBI whistleblower, Marcus Allen. It's all the questions you would ever want to ask a federal agent about the FBI, like all the questions you would ever have, or at least some of them, and asking them of a very sincere person who's willing to answer some of them. That was amazing. I asked that you watch it so that if you know of any larger shows, platforms where he could go and tell his story, that you recommend him to those places, because I think he's just got a really important story, a voice, message. His message is amazing. And he's a great example of what a public servant should be. And so if you know of any place, go and share his story with them. And hopefully he'll be able to go to a couple other places and speak. Let's see. The other thing was, we brought back that Christian panel. So yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, Wednesday night, we did a new episode on what to look for in a spouse from a Christian point of view. Go and check it out. We're going to do a follow-up video in a couple weeks. And it was good hanging out with you guys today. Thanks for being here. I'll see you on Monday. Take care.